Good day, students. Welcome to Accounting 1329, Payroll and Business Tax Accounting. This is Dr. Mercado speaking, and in this lecture we are going to be covering the semester payroll project using an online automated general ledger software. We are using the 2023 edition of the textbook. Now, before I begin recording the lecture, I do want to let you know that I am sick. I've been sick for over a week with a terrible cough. It does not want to go away, but I needed to get this recording done for you, so I'm going to go ahead and proceed. So if you hear me coughing, excuse me, but I just needed to get this done, and I can't wait for my cough to get away. So just go with the flow. I will try to cough as less as I can, but just wanted to let you know, it gives you a heads up, okay? So what are we going to do in this particular lecture? Okay, now you are going to be practicing on how to use or apply a general ledger software to what we've been doing in the 6 chapters. Okay, so the system's going to be asking you to do specific tasks, enter transactions in a journal, post those to the ledger, do a variety of transactions in an automated system so you can simulate how it's done in the real world. Okay, so we've been doing all of this more in a manual environment, and now we're going to actually get to see and use a general ledger software. That way you can see how it's actually the information flows in the system and the things that the system does for us. Okay, we are going to begin with reading the chapter. There's a section of the textbook that goes over the payroll project. Okay, the payroll project, there's 2 versions. There's the long version and there's a short version. I'm doing the short version. My intent is not to torture you with the project. My intent is that you become familiar with using it. Okay, so the more practice you get, the better, but in a short environment. Okay, you're going to be doing a series of transactions, so we are going to be focusing on the short version. Okay, there's a video included on how to use the software. We're going to go through that. There's a tutorial. The first time that you open up the general ledger software system, the system guides you as to the different resources that you have, and then you're going to follow the step-by-step instructions to actually complete specific tasks. Okay, if you have questions, please make sure to contact me Monday through Friday, and please refer to the syllabus for my scheduled office hours. Okay, now this lecture is going to be for my courses. This could be the spring or the fall semester, or if the course is offered in the summer. Okay, in order for you to know what week you have to go to locate this information, please refer to your course syllabus, and you will locate the information that deals with completing a semester payroll project using an online automated general ledger software. Okay, the only thing that changes is the week that it falls in. Like for my spring and my fall semester, it's going to be towards the end of the semester, maybe weeks 15, 16 kind of a thing. For my summer sessions, depending on the summer session, it's going to fall within week 4, week 5 kind of a thing. Okay, but the content is the same for whoever is taking this course. Okay, what I'm going to go over is more about the actual project, not so much the deadlines. You want to know the deadlines? Look at your syllabus. Okay, that's why it's very important that you keep your syllabus handy at all times. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump over to this is a spring semester course that I'm looking at. We're going to go ahead and for my spring semester, because it is a long semester, I am assigning 2 weeks. This would basically apply for my spring semester and my fall semesters because they're long semesters. Usually I give students 2 weeks to complete the project. Okay, we're going to start off with the module overview. Okay, and this basically just goes over what we're going to be working on. We're going to be working over the payroll project, the short version. For this project, students are going to be using an automated general ledger software system, which simulates how a real company uses general ledger softwares to maintain their payroll records and their payroll transactions. Okay, so we are employed by a company called Globe Bright Paying Company, and you are the person responsible for the company's payroll processing using the computerized payroll system. And we are going to be working on the short version of the problem, which means that we're going to be completing transactions for the payroll in November and December only. Okay, all of the information is provided that you're going to be needing. Okay, you're also going to be completing last quarter and annual tax reports and forms. Okay, so there's a lot of information here. Please read over it. Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to prepare payroll registers. We're going to maintain employee earnings records. We're going to journalize and post payroll and payroll tax entries. We're going to complete federal, state, and city tax deposits forms and journalize these transactions. And we are going to prepare various quarter end and year end payroll tax forms and make accrual entries for the payroll at the end of a year. Okay, so read this information, and then once we're done, we're going to jump into Appendix B. Okay, Appendix B is basically the ebook. This is where you're going to locate information of what the actual project entails. Okay, so it's going to give you an overview of the project. It's going to give you specific instructions. Please make sure that you read before you go into the actual project. Okay, very important as information is provided, and I'm not going to read all of the information for you. You all can read that on your own. I just want to kind of direct you as to what is it that you need to do. Okay, that way you do the steps in order. So step number 1 is you read the section of the ebook that I've provided that deals with the short version of the payroll project. Okay, so this is the appendix introduction. We've got the full project and we've got the short version. We're going to be focusing on the short version. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scroll over, okay, until I locate the short version. Okay, so this is where we're going to start reading. Okay, everybody, all of my students, please make sure that we read all of this section. It's a couple of pages long. It includes a lot of information. Take the time to read it. Okay, so it basically tells you that the project is an online version of the same project that is completed manually. I don't have my students do it manually because what is the point of them doing manually if they're going to do it here? So it's just, you're going to be doing it one time online using the actual automated general ledger software system. And the system basically simulates how a real company uses a general ledger system to maintain payroll records. Okay, that way you get that hands-on experience to actually using a system. Once you go out there, what is it that they use? This is something that will help you kind of get an idea of that. Okay, we are only going to be completing the last payroll in November and the payrolls for the month of December. Okay, and some end year activities. Okay, so our work is going to consist of processing the payrolls for the last months of the years and completing a series of tax forms. Okay, to help you get started, the last period of November is provided is a tutorial problem. Okay, please go over that November information carefully because it's going to basically guide you and teach you on what is it that you need to do. Okay, it illustrates the principles and procedures required to process payroll transactions in the general ledger software system. Now, they're going to teach you in the November payroll. In subsequent pay periods for December, if there is a new operational procedure that you haven't done before, additional instructions are going to be provided. So the software is awesome. Okay, so you're going to go through November, you're going to learn a lot. Okay, you're going to apply what you learned in November in the December payrolls. If something new pops up in December, the system is going to let you know this is a new activity and this is how you do it, kind of a thing. Okay, the project has been broken down into several assignments, and then you're going to be completing a series of steps in each of those sections. Okay, so it's broken down by section. There's some information here about transactions. Even though some of the computer calculated withholding amounts are going to be different than the ones in the taxes because the manual payroll project, basically the differences are due because the system annualizes percentages method from the IRS publication 15T rather than the table lookup to compute withholding taxes. Okay, the differences here should be less than $2 per pay period or less. Okay, you are provided with tax tables, with account numbers, the assets, liabilities, capital, and expenses. These are the different accounts that you're going to be using when you are recording your journal entries. Okay, only these accounts, and they have to be, basically, these are your selection of accounts that you're going to be using. Okay, and then we're going to get to the illustrative case, the short project. It's going to give you the step-by-step instructions, the general instructions, a whole bunch of information, things that you have to change in the system. Please, I recommend either you print it out or you read it. Just follow and read all of this information. I am not going to go over this with you because it's just a lot of information. But just make sure that all of this information is covered before you begin working on your project. Okay, so there's sections that basically give you kind of like check my works. journal examples of journal entries. Just a wealth of information is provided here. Please read over all of this section. Okay, then we have a section for our year-end activities. The same thing, a whole bunch of information is provided. You need to follow all of the steps to complete the project. Okay, so from this, what we're going to take is that we need to read. And I understand we do not like to do that, but it is imperative that we do so we can be able to apply and understand what we're doing. After you have read all of this information, then you can proceed to actually begin working on the project. Okay, so first you read the appendix. Once you're done reading and going over all of that information, you're going to go to the one that says Semester Payroll Project using a General Ledger software system. Okay, so it's going to load. And do not be afraid to navigate. Once you're in the system, you're not going to break anything. Press buttons, okay? So the project opens. It basically tells you have 2 takes of this assignment. So for every line item, you're going to have 2 takes. And you can begin working on the project, okay? So you're going to start the assignment. Remember, there's 2 tries and I keep the highest grade, okay? So the first thing is your video. Item number 1, Automated General Ledger Software Video. Okay, you're going to click the blue link. It's going to open up a tab. And I'm not going to watch the video with you. I'm just showing you what you need to do. Okay, you're going to click play. Okay, so you can see a short 2-minute video is going to guide you as to information about the automated software system. Watch the video. Okay, step number 1. Once you have watched the video, you click there that you've watched it and you move on to the second one. Okay, now the second one is the tutorial. Remember I said that the November transactions are being provided as an example so you can do December on your own. So when you're doing the November tutorial, be very careful, pay extra close attention to it. Okay, so once you click it, it's going to say here, Assignment 1, you're going to open the General Ledger software system and you're going to start doing activities. Okay, this is going to pop up. This is the actual system that we're going to be using. So we are going to go through the tour. Okay, so it's telling you, get started. Welcome to the GlobeBright Payrolls Project Short Version Simulation. Here are some tips to help you use this assignment effectively. Next, okay. This is the assignment panel. This is where you're going to get the instructions. You've got 14 tasks to complete here. Okay, 1 of 14. So this is where you're going to locate what is it that you need to do. You have to follow these instructions right here. Okay, the assignment panel provides instructions. It provides you source documents. If there's any information that you need to complete a specific task, the source documents are provided. And it gets you a calculator. Okay. I also provided check my works. I give students 5 check my works so they can check their work as they're doing the problem. Okay. After that, we've got the expand or collapse assignment panel. Okay. This, you're going to use it to either make the panel larger or smaller. That way it makes your work area more bigger or smaller depending on your preference. Okay. The instructions, we're going to read the instructions on the assignment panel to complete the assignment. You can browse through the instructions by selecting the back and forward arrows. Okay. The source documents, that is where you're going to present the actual documents that you need to refer to complete the assignment. You're going to use this button to open the source documents for the assignment. Okay. This is an example of the source documents. Once you select this is the first source document. So there's 11 source documents. So here, if a source document is referenced, use source document 2. Then this is where you're going to go back and look for source document 2 or whatever the case might be. Okay, some of them you will have source documents, others you will not. Okay, but if a source document is needed, you're going to click source documents. You're going to look for the source document that you need, and then you're going to follow the instructions of whatever is it that they're asking you to do. And then what happened? Well, right here. Okay. And then there's a calculator. That way, if you want to use your calculator, you can just do that. Or you can use your phone calculator, whatever makes you happy. But they do provide you with a calculator. And you have the option to save your work or submit it. Now, you're not going to submit it until you're done with it. Okay, but if you want to, like, if you're working on it and you have to get up and cook, or you're going to have to go off to work and you want to save your progress, this is the button that you're going to click to save your progress. Okay, submit is after you complete all of the steps in the assignment, then you click submit. Okay, check is an assignment option controlled by the instructor. I've given students 5 check my works, and it's basically going to give you a summary of what you got right, what you got wrong, and that way you can make any necessary corrections. Okay. Now, I recommend that you don't check your work every minute, that you work on the whole item, on the whole process that you're doing, and then you check your work. That way you can, okay, I did all of this right, all of this wrong, and then I can fix all of my errors and then do another check my work to see, okay, what is it that I'm improving on, getting right or getting wrong, and then focus on your areas that you're missing. Okay. There's some additional option menus up here. This is basically supplementary options such as resizing instructions, text size, or general instructions. You can also launch this Get Started tutorial from the additional options menu at any time. So if you're not in it and then you want to go back and, hey, how do I do this? You know, I need to go back to the tutorial, kind of what we're doing right now. You can just click the additional options menu, and you can once again observe the tutorial. We've got the help button. If you're having trouble understanding the system, the help button is always available. You can just type up a topic that you're having issues with, and a whole bunch of resources are going to be provided for you there. The white space is a simulation area. This is where you're going to be performing your tasks. Okay. We've got the module menu. These are different menu options that we're going to be using. This is where you're going to have to be selecting to go to the appropriate modules and do specific transactions. Okay. So these are the icons in the model menu. Depending on the instructions is the menu that you're going to be selecting and working on. Okay. The selected module is highlighted, so in whatever module you're using at the moment, it's going to be highlighted. It basically identifies where you're at, kind of a thing. And then the top menu are your different menu options for displaying items within each module. Okay. So depending on the transactions that you're going to be doing, if you're going to be maintaining vendors, customers, doing journal entries, preparing financial statements, whatever the case might be, these are the options on the top that you're going to be clicking. Okay. Now, like I said, select the options, browse around. You're not going to break anything. Okay. Go through all of the different motions. That way you can become familiar. Okay. A window is going to open. Okay. In the window, every time you launch a new window, you can have the option of resizing the window. You can drag the corner to make it bigger or smaller, minimize it. Here they have an example. This is a general journal. This is how it looks like. This is where you're going to be entering your journal transactions. And to add a new entry, you have a button down here to add a new entry. Okay. The window list at the bottom of the simulation basically lets you know all the windows that you have open. And you can go from window to window if you have multiple windows open. Okay. And then you've got a dashboard up here. The dashboard basically reviews data in a graph format. In the normal course of the assignment, you may not be instructed to view the dashboard, but if you want to view it, you can go ahead and do that. Nothing bad's going to happen. It just gives you a series of information using visual information, like graphs and stuff like that. Okay. Now, to toggle between panels, you can use the keyboard shortcut Control F2 to toggle between the assignment panels. You can use Control F3 to toggle between the assignment panels and source documents. And within the simulation area, you can use Control F9 to move to the window next to it. So if you're kind of like a shortcut kind of a person, these are the shortcut commands that you can use if you don't want to be selecting windows or anything like that. So basically, it gives you just general information. Once you finish the tutorial, then you can begin working on the assignment, okay? So the instructions are provided, like for example, instruction number 1, ensure that the system date at the top of the screen right here is November 20, 2023. In my case, it is. In your case, I'm not sure. If it's not, then you click the little calendar and you make your selection, okay? But mine's there, so I'm going to leave it at this. This will be used as a default date throughout the assignment. You got the wrong date, everything's going to be wrong. So make sure that you read carefully. Okay. You may change the system date by using the calendar. Okay. So everything it's provided. We're done with item number 1. you're going to move with item number 2. From the General Ledger module, select Account List and Chart of Accounts. Okay, from the General Ledger module. Okay, so these are your modules. Okay, and if you hover over them, little words are going to appear. This is banking, this is general ledger, this is payroll, this is reports. Okay, so it's asking me here from the general ledger module. Okay, so this is my general ledger module. It says select account lists. Okay, account lists, and then chart of accounts. Okay, so this is what's going to open, and you make it bigger. Okay, the chart of account includes account used in the payroll entries and capital accounts. Okay, review the account names and classifications. You will use these accounts in journal entries, and they will be used in system generated payroll entries. Okay, so it's just telling you, it's showing you where to locate your chart of accounts. These are the accounts that you're going to be using. Okay, and that's how you're going to continue. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole project because it just be very time consuming. Okay, but I just want to show you what is it that you're going to do. Okay, in step number 3, you're going to edit employee information. Now it's telling you from the payroll module, select task. So currently we're in the general ledger module. We're going to go to payroll. Okay, so in the payroll module, it says select task and then maintain employees. Okay, so you see all I'm doing is I'm following these instructions over here. Okay, so we're going to go to the payroll module, task, maintain employees. Okay, and then it says select task and maintain employees. Scroll down to employee number 180, student. Okay, so this is 180, student, and enter your own name in the employee name field and leave the other fields as is. Okay, so in my employee name, they're telling me to enter my name, and I'm going to follow the same setup that they have here, and then I'm going to go ahead and do save. Okay, the employee information record has been recorded. Okay, so all I'm going to be doing is following these instructions. Okay, we're going to go on. Okay, now here I can close this out. Display the employee list report. The report is shown in source document 1. So now we're going to go to source documents. Source document 1. This is the instructions. The instructions are always firstly included. From the payroll module, select reports and employee list to view this report. So they're telling you how to get to the report. Check that the employee name has changed on employee 180 from student to your name. Okay, so this is what you need to do. And then this is a source document. Okay, so this is what you're going to be using to follow the instructions. Okay, and you have the option to see it bigger, smaller, whatever the case might be. You can make it shorter, larger. You can print it, you can download it, whatever the case might be. So in this case, you're going to be working with this source document. Okay, verify the name change. The name that we just changed in instruction 3, we changed it to our name. Make sure that that has happened. And make corrections via the maintain employee menu from the task menu on the top of the bar. Okay, so we're going to follow the instructions. You're going to continue doing that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to exit this. You're going to do all of the 14 steps. Okay, all of them. Okay, if you get stuck, read over the instructions. Use the help button. You can click help. And if you don't know how to do a specific task, you know what? You can just search for help topics here and it'll give you additional information. Okay. But the help button is provided. Just make sure that you do go in sequential order. You do all of the items as outlined. So basically, you just need to read the instructions. If it identifies that you need to use the source document, you use the source document. Remember, on the source document, there are specific instructions that you need to follow. This is the source document. You're going to compare this information to the report that they're asking you to locate here. Okay, so it's just basically following the information, navigate, use the different menu options. You're not going to break anything. Okay, do whatever it is that they're asking you. Okay, so this is going to help set the stage. It's going to train you on how to use the system step by step. Okay, now in the next section, okay, let me go back Once you're done with the tutorial, you're going to actually begin working on transactions, okay? So this is for, let me see, why didn't it direct me? Kick me out, I guess. Let me go in there again. Okay. So once you finish the tutorial, then we're going to go to the December 4 payroll. This is where you're going to begin entering transactions that they're asking you to, okay? You can once again watch the tutorial. If you are comfortable with using it, then you can just skip it, okay? So if you want to once again go through the navigation, you can do so. If not, you just do skip this tour, okay? And then once again, in this particular item, you have 13 tasks to complete, okay? The first one, entering the date. Okay, everything is outlined. Your source documents are here. This is what you're going to be doing, and these are the source documents that you are being provided. Okay, now I've had students ask me, Miss, the system wants me to do a journal entry. Where am I going to learn about this? Okay, now this is a project, a cumulative project where you are going to apply everything that you've learned in chapters 1 through 6. So if you have questions about doing a specific task that you completely forgot, calculating payroll, doing journal entries, you need to go back to your textbook and go over that section of the book, okay? Because the system's not going to teach you or reteach you everything that you've learned throughout the semester. By now, you should be comfortable with the information that you've learned in the first 6 chapters, and then you can apply it to the actual payroll project, okay? This is more, the stuff, and now we're going to teach you how to use a system that people, organizations use in the workforce, okay? So this is the application of a general ledger software system, assuming you already know how to do payroll, okay? So it's basically just following instructions from the payroll module. Select reports, payroll report, click here, do that kind of a thing, following instructions, okay? So the project is not complicated, but you are going to just go in the series of steps. You've got your check your work, so you can check your work. Don't be afraid to navigate. You're going to do payroll December 4, 18, and 14. Okay, and then the end of year activities, but it's basically the same concept. You're in the same system. You're gonna, in this case, you have 8 items that you have to complete, and these are the items that you need to make sure that you handle. Okay, so the setup is the same. The instructions are provided, and then you complete the instructions based on what the task based on the instructions. Okay, and once you're done, you just hit submit. Okay. Like I said, you have 2 tries. Before you begin working on anything, make sure that you read that section of the ebook that covers the short version of the payroll project. Okay. All of the information that you need is provided. It's included. You've got your check your works. Once you complete the entire project, items 1 through 6, you'll get a grade. Okay. It's not graded. Well, it's graded by module per se here, but then it's going to give you an overall grade based on the completion of the 6 modules. Okay. So it's going to give you a grade over the 6 items. Let's say you get an 80. Okay. You have that second try. Please use the second try to try to earn more points possible. Remember, I always keep the highest grade. Okay. Do not leave this for the last minute. It is time consuming, especially because you haven't been trained on how to use an automated software system. So do not leave this for the end. Okay. If I give you 1 week in the summer or 2 weeks in the spring and fall semester, depending on when you're taking my class, make sure that you prioritize the project. You work on it on a daily basis. Schedule an hour and a half to work on the project every day. That way you can get a feel, hey, it's taking me a very long time. I need more time. Or you know what? This is a piece of cake. Okay, I'm going to get the whole project done in 2 or 3 hours. Okay, so it just depends on the student, how familiar they are with the content. That way they can apply the content to the actual application of the general ledger system. Okay, but this is what you're going to be working on. It's a system that we are learning how to use so we can be able to do a whole bunch of payroll entries, reports, analysis, journal entries, accruals, everything that needs to get done related to payroll registers, everything. So it's an awesome thing for us to learn. That way, if we do go to the workforce, maybe we're not using the same payroll system, but you've been exposed to it and you have some general understanding of how systems work. Okay. So that is basically it. I just wanted to provide you a short overview. Please refer to your syllabus for the assignment due dates. That way you know exactly when they're due. Okay? If you get stuck, please let me know what you're working on. It's very difficult for when students tell me, Miss, I'm lost. Okay, you're lost where? Okay? So tell me, hey, Miss, send me a screenshot. Okay, if possible. Miss, I'm working on December payroll project, you know what? And I am completely lost on how to do this. Okay, I've done this, but it's the information is incorrect. Okay, or whatever. But tell me, okay, I'm working on instruction number 7 on the second part of the payroll project. On the December 4th payroll project, this is what I did, and the system's marking these items in red. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then I can go ahead and take a look at your specific items. Maybe not all of them, but I can locate, okay, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you need to fix. Go back and review the rest of your work. Okay. But like I said, you have got check your works. You've got your textbook as a resource. If you follow the instructions, it's not very difficult to complete. But I am here for support. Just remember to do give me the information because I am not a mind reader. So if you have a question, tell me what you're working on, the instruction that you're on, the payroll period that you're on, the task that you're doing, and what is it that you want me to look at. Okay? And I will be more than glad to help you out there. Okay? But that is basically it for the payroll project. I just wanted to do you a short overview. That way you could see the actual system. It provides you with the tour on how to use it. It provides you with instructions, with the source documents. You've got 5 check your works. You've got a whole bunch of resources available, the help button, the additional resources. The important here thing is that you try, that you put the time and the effort. 2 attempts are provided, so there is no excuse for you not to perform well on this assignment. Please, please, please try your very best. And that is it. If you have questions, please reach out to me. I am here to help you in anything that I can. And we are approaching, if we are working on the semester payroll project, is because we are very close to the end of the semester. So please give it our best to end with a high note here to try to earn our the most points possible before we head over to our final exam week. Okay? So have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. And until next time, bye-bye.